So what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? A lot of people talk about being an entrepreneur, or they've started lots of businesses, or they've been in many different businesses, but that doesn't make them an entrepreneur. It might make them a business person, but not an entrepreneur. To me, an entrepreneur is someone who starts something from zero or completely transforms something that already existed. Typically, they're people who cannot go to the bank. That's my definition. If you can't go to the bank because, excuse the noise, there are birds flying around everywhere. If you can go to a bank and get financing based on sales figures or industry figures, then you're not an entrepreneur. But if you go into the bank branch and you cannot get any support whatsoever, that kind of starts to say to me, you're an entrepreneur. At that very, very basic level, at that beginning, that's where you've got to be classed as an entrepreneur. If you open a new franchised coffee store, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a person who's invested in a business. You're a business person. Very, very different. If you're the person who started the franchise system from nothing, like a Starbucks, then you're an entrepreneur. Now, the thing about being an entrepreneur is that there are two romanticised versions of it that go around, and they're very similar. One is that, oh, it's going to be uncomfortable, and the other is that, oh, it's a thrilling ride. I use the analogy here of a roller coaster, and not the analogy in terms of, oh, it's got its ups and downs or anything like that. I use the analogy in that when you get into a roller coaster, the first thing you notice is that it's tiny, it's uncomfortable, it's sticky, it's hot, it's probably sweaty, and it's got crap all over the place, and you just don't have this feeling of comfort. It's not a lot of fun at that point. You get this thing come over the top and it holds you down, something comes around your waist and you're strapped in there, and it's the least comfortable place you can be. That's your first thought, and that's my first thought when I go into a roller coaster. But then what happens, this thing takes off and it starts to clatter up this little hill. And as it goes up this slope, you start to feel this thrill comes in. And some people just want to get off, but they can't. Some people just can't wait for the rest of the ride. Regardless of where you are, once you've launched, you're in it. So you're going up this thing and all of a sudden you get to the crest. Now you don't know, is it the last one? Is it the first one? You've got an idea on a roller coaster, but all you know is you're going down and it's going to be a thrilling ride. Thrilling in that either you're going to vow never to get on again after you vomit, or you're going to go back for more. One of those two things is going to happen. It's the same with being an entrepreneur. You might try a business once and it doesn't succeed. It's too uncomfortable, scares the daylights out of you, and you say, I'm never doing that again, I'll just go and buy a coffee franchise. Or you're the person who knows that that failure is part of what you're doing, and you keep going back for more and more and more and more. You see, the thing about being uncomfortable is that it's not comfortable. It's scary and completely uncomfortable. It's like sitting in that thing under a hot sun with clamps all over you and you just can't move. That's what it means to be an entrepreneur, and the banks won't talk to you for a single second.